Minoru Mineta said, I think you have lost your damn mind, Midoriya, because I don't think there's no way all those girls will allow that without a bit of trouble. And I said, relax, I've got a plan. As you know, girls talk about things after they have sex, so I'm sure you are aware that after we had sex with Mina Ashido, she told every other girl in class 1A and 1B about you and I after she had sex with you and me, and now all of them are sexually attracted to you and I. And do you know what that means? They desire us, Mineta, and because of that our powers of absolute devotion and attraction will work a lot better this way, making them all a lot more compliant. When you and I walk in that soundproof locker room together, they will have sex with us because they want to anyway, so now you will get what you want and so will I. And then Minoru Mineta asked me, what do you want, Midoriya? And then I asked Mineta, isn't it obvious? I want to get many beautiful women pregnant, as many as possible, for one specific reason. My children grow up incredibly fast, but the women I get pregnant don't know that yet, but they will soon enough, and you, Mineta, will also have children that are the same. I'm basically trying to create new superhumans and they will all be called metahumans. I'm going to erase weak quirks and human weakness altogether, and I'm going to transform the human race into superior beings just because I can, and there will be no more quirkless people and no more quirkless children. Everyone will have powers except for evil people. They will not have powers because I'll make sure of that. And then Mineta smirked and said, just because you can, I get it. So basically what you're telling me is that you're trying to make a lot of your babies so that they can reproduce and make more superior humans. And then I said, that's exactly what I'm planning, but you can also do that too. And then Mineta smirked and said, I can do it, but how am I going to take care of all those kids? And then I said, relax, I'm going to give you another type of power, the ability to perfectly and permanently clone yourself. And then I placed my hand on Mineta's chest and I gave him the ability to perfectly clone himself permanently, just like I can do. Then finally we were standing in front of the door to the girls' locker room, and then I told Mineta to activate your powers of absolute devotion and attraction now, because I'm doing the same thing. And then we both walked into the girls' locker room and shower, and all the beautiful girls from class 1A and class 1B stopped and stared at me and Mineta in disbelief, and then they all smiled like perverts and blushed, and then they all walked over to me and Mineta and started giggling cutely and undressing us until we were both now naked with our fully erect penises on display, and me and Mineta did all the young beautiful women from class 1A and class 1B in every sexual position. We had sex with all the beautiful girls from class 1A and class 1B. And then we finally started giving them all double penetration, and that's when things started to get a little crazy, and we filled all their holes with our semen, and we cloned ourselves a bit to give all the beautiful girls in class 1A and class 1B double penetration, and it was absolutely wonderful. And Momo Yaoyorozu continued having sex with me, and Mineta and Kyoka Jiro continued having sex with us too, and all the other girls passed out from exhaustion. And Kyoka Jiro is actually very beautiful. She's perfectly curvy and skinny, and she has beautiful skin, and Momo Yaoyorozu has always been absolutely perfect, and she's also perfectly curvy. And these two beautiful girls, Momo Yaoyorozu and Kyoka Jiro, didn't want to stop having sex with me and Mineta, but eventually they all got tired too, and then me and Mineta finally went back home to our apartments, and then eventually all the girls woke up after having sex with me and Mineta, and they all remembered what happened, and then they all talked and said, I can't believe we just did that, it was like a sexual fantasy come true. Then Momo said that was the best sexual experience we ever had, and then they all started talking about me and Mineta and how having sex with us was like watching hardcore porno movie in real life, but better because they actually had sex like that. And then they all asked why didn't we bleed or anything after all that, and then they said it must be their quirks unless we dreamed the whole thing. And then Momo Yaoyorozu said, no, there's no way, we all had the same dream and sexual fantasy. I know that was real because I'm still sore, and I'm also guessing so are the rest of you, and that was the best sex I ever had or felt, and that was also my first time, as I'm sure it's also the same for the rest of you except for you, Mina Ashido. And then of course there's Katsuki Bakugo, you know, Izuku Midoriya's girlfriend. They've been together since they were both kids, and he also got her pregnant. They both had sex many times, I'm sure.